In the previous video, I promised you I'm going to show you how to create a table of values on your calculator here. Let's make this one using these two symbolic rules that we transformed them into. We had expressions first, then we translated them into symbolic rules using the output variables y1 and y2. So let's take a look at our calculator here from a home screen. So we want to first input these two symbolic rules. And the way we do that is to hit y equals. The y equals button allows us to input formulas. And there's space actually for 10 of them, from 1 to 10 there. So we're just going to use y1 and y2. So let's input 1/2 quantity. The input variable, or the x variable button, is this guy. So I got to hit that. And -6. So there is one down there. Sorry for the glare. There's one. And before we enter the second one, let me show you the table feature. We're going to create a table of values here. So table happens here in the second graph. So hit second graph. Gets me to table. Now if you have values in there, you can hit delete. So there's delete. I'm going to delete those out. Many of you, or some of you, may already have a list of values in there that you can't delete out, and that means you need to go to table set. So second window gets you to table set, and the only thing you need to worry about is this guy right here. This independent variable, or the input variable, must be set to auto. So that can be at 0, that can be at 1, so I'm going to arrow down twice. I'm going to hit, oops. And I want to make that darkened in, so I'm just going to hit enter here. And now that is highlighted. So if this one's highlighted, you're good to go. Sorry, but if that one's highlighted, then something happens when you go back to your table. So let's go to second graph. And now look at, I got all these numbers in here, and they're starting at 0, and they go up and down. And even though I hit delete, I can't delete them, and it's because of my table set. That independent variable is set to auto. So I'm going to go back to my table set, second window, and let's take a look here. This is where the start of your table will begin, and then this is what the change or the increment of the table values will be. So on my table currently, it starts at -5, and it'll go up -4, -3, -2, all the way up, and it'll just increasing, and it go by ones in either direction. But when this is set to ask, your independent is set to ask, so let's do that. Then you have the control of what you're going to place in for the input variable. So let's go back to your table, second graph or table, and now look at it's clear, and now you can type in anything, 25, 100, and then go back and delete those out. So make sure your independent variable is set to ask, and then you can manipulate these input values. All right. Let's take our 2, 5, and 0. So 2 gives us the corresponding y1 value. Remember that y1 value is right here in y equals. So that's the formula we used. So I'm going to go back to second graph or my table and insert a 5 and a 0. So I'm just typing in, and those guys line up with those guys. All right, let's go hit delete those out. And let's go to y equals and plug in our second expression, now a symbolic rule, so 1/2 x. So 1/2, my input variable again is that guy, so I'm going to hit x -12. Okay,